Hey, Sven here. If you're using the free version of HubSpot and would like to have a few more features, then you have to upgrade. And the upgrade is so incredibly expensive that it's really no fun at all. And that's why we've come up with something really special. We have 5 make scenarios here, 5 automations that let you really upgrade your free HubSpot and get some really cool new features on top, which cost you next to nothing. The first is, what happens when a new contact comes in? How do we handle data enrichment? Then, how can I analyze my deals better? Then I have a playbook. What happens when a customer enters a specific deal stage? And how can I manage this deal stage even better? We're offering the whole thing as a free package for download. And in this video, I'll show you how it all works. And yes, I'm honestly really excited myself because we had seriously considered moving away from HubSpot since upgrading to the next pricing tier is just too expensive. But with these features, suddenly everything changed again. I'm Sven, I'm an entrepreneur, and I've been working on process optimization and quality for over 33 years. And not just in business, but in all areas of life. And a lot of what I can do today, I learned through experience, through trial and error, and I know what really works. And in my videos, I want to show you how you can get a whole lot out of intelligent process automation for your business and for yourself. And if you're unsure about where to start or how it all works, just book a free course with me. You'll find the link for that right below this video. So let's get started. So as I said, HubSpot is really a cool product, but I've pulled up the pricing page here. And if you're on this startup platform where you pay €9 per month per license and then want to upgrade to the professional version, you're suddenly at €800, and that's just insane. I mean, sure, you get 3 licenses included, but I think that price jump is just way too big. And that's why, for us, we also considered moving away from HubSpot. But then we came up with the idea to say, no, let's just automate the functions that we really miss. And that would really help us to make our processes with HubSpot a bit better. And that's what we did, and I'll show you the examples here. And as I briefly mentioned in the intro, you can download and use the entire package for free. And maybe it will help you keep your HubSpot free version and actually increase its value significantly. Let's take a look. So the first thing we did here is a very simple scenario when a new record comes in. And what does the whole thing look like? We've set up a webhook here, and you simply connect this webhook to any system where you receive your new leads. This could be your website or, as shown here, Bravo, a survey you use as a lead magnet somewhere. So any data source where your lead data comes from. When you set up the system, you need to enter your emails here. We've already prepared all of that for you. There's also detailed documentation included in the package, explaining everything you need to set up for the whole thing to work. Well, and then there's this call here. Create update contact. That's actually pretty straightforward. That means, for example, here we have the email, first name, last name, company name, some message that's also sent along, and the phone number. And then the corresponding data record is created, and if it already exists, it will be updated with any additional data as needed. Then, when such a contact comes in, you want to track it somehow. And for example, with this create a task, you can create a task for yourself so that after 7 days, in this specific case, we simply add 7 days to today's date. The whole thing is assigned to my colleague, and you have to remember it in 7 days, and then the reminder is set as well. And then this new contact, that's great as well. Basically, an email is sent to everyone so that everyone knows, hey, a new contact has come in again, and the data is simply included in this email, and then you have a direct link in the email to the entry in HubSpot. That means you can start working right away. And that would be another idea, for example. You can also send the whole thing as a message in your Teams channel or in Slack or wherever you work together. It's so simple, but it brings so much value. Everyone is informed, the contact is created automatically, everyone is notified, and you immediately have a follow-up task. Second scenario, enriching the data. As you saw, we might only have things like first name, last name, email, and so on. And then there are still a whole lot of other data missing. How do you usually handle that? You start researching on the internet, visit the company's website, and much more. And of course, we can automate that as well. The moment this data record is created, this scenario is triggered and first enters this stage here, where the link to the website is assembled, is put together. Then the website is retrieved and the HTML is converted into text. And now we have various actions here that, for example, in this case, summarize the content of the website. Yes, that means if you don't like the prompt here, you can, of course, change it. So we pass on the content of the website and then we get a summary. What kind of company is this? What do they do? Then the text is generated, which you can later use to enrich the data. Then we still need to set up the base path of the website here, and then we extract all relevant links from the content of this website. Yes, as you can see here, for example, we fetch the About Us page, or the locations, or the addresses of the social media platforms, and then we get back a JSON document that we can process further accordingly. Well, and then what do I do logically? I then update the company data with all the information I have found. Yes, About Us. What else do we have down here? The Facebook page, the LinkedIn page, and down here, the Twitter handle. Yes, and now, of course, you could add a lot more information here, like, for example, find the street address or something else. You can usually find that in the legal notice and then just add it here as well. Yes, then we also read the contact page and convert that into text as well. And then we also combine the locations. Yes, so here maybe there are more and more locations. So you can see here address, city, country, and so on. And then there might be some other locations identified here, and then we update this customer record again. Yes, and now, for example, we have the city included here, the country, and much more. Oh, Google Plus doesn't even exist anymore. Very good, good. So that means this is where the enrichment takes place. And then down here, we've added a second branch, namely a Perplexity search, which simply finds all the relevant information about this company. So all publicly available relevant information for this company at this address. And here as well, you can already see company description, founding date, industry, and much more. And then Perplexity starts running, returns the data as a JSON document, which is then processed in a structured way here. And yeah, guess what happens next? Of course, the company record is then expanded with this data again. So really cool. Normally, research like this takes quite a bit of time. Here it works automatically, and I would say that 90 to 95% of all relevant data is already in your data set. So let's take it a step further. You offer your customers certain services, and those are the so-called deals. And these deals, you can't really analyze them properly in this free version, so we thought, well, let's just cyclically extract these deals and write them into a Google Sheet. This Google Sheet is very basic, just the ID, the date, when the expected closing is, what it's called, what stage it's in, and what the planned amount is. And now, of course, you can do any kind of analysis you want with the data. And obviously, if you need more information, you can export even more and write it into this Google Sheet. So what are we doing here? We are currently utilizing this particular data store, which is provided by Make. And we meticulously save within it the precise timestamp indicating when the scenario was last successfully executed or initiated. At the start of the scenario, we retrieve this date, this time when it last ran. Then we set the current time and save everything again so that we can simply track when it last ran. Why do we need this? Well, as you can see here, search deals modified after last run. That means, of course, we only search for all deals that have changed since this last run. And we do this by querying the last modified date with this last run. Yes, and then we get these deals, and then we have a loop here. And we use this loop to check whether the deal exists in this Google Sheet, whether it's already there. If yes, then we update it because maybe something has changed, like the price or whatever. And if not, then it will be newly created. And again, here, as you can see, it's actually a simple idea, but one that is extremely useful because in the end, you're able to analyze this data much, much better, which, as I said, doesn't work at all in the free version. And then we set up 2 more playbooks. Playbooks are basically, in our case, processes that are carried out as part of deal management with a customer. That means you have a specific task, for example, when the deal reaches a certain stage. For us, it's like this. For example, we say that when the customer reaches the discovery call stage, then a discovery call must be conducted. And this can now also be automatically prepared and then carried out. So that means here we have this. It then looks at the deal stage column. You then have to find out this individual ID because you can set up this Kanban board however you like. And that's why it's a different ID in every system. And at the moment when that happens, when the deal enters that stage, we check who is responsible for this deal. And then we send this person an email and say, look, it's now in the discovery call stage. And now you will promptly get the notification to meticulously fill out this comprehensive discovery form where you will accurately enter all the absolutely necessary and pertinent information that ultimately concerns the specific deal. You get a link for that here. And for this purpose, we've built an Airtable. And when you click on this link, you get to the Airtable, which of course is also part of the package we provide. Here, basically, the process is set up. What are the individual steps required here? And what are the corresponding questions that are asked during this discovery call? You can see these questions here, and they are then filled out accordingly. But the whole thing is a bit simpler to present when I use the forms. That means we've now created a form here, new discovery call. So, and now if you are the sales rep for this deal, you can go through this together with the customer over the phone or in a call. What is the challenge? What is your budget? You enter all the data and click to submit. And at that moment, not only have you captured this data, but you also trigger the next scenario, which uses this data to update HubSpot again, because otherwise you would have to enter this data manually. And that's the final step. That's Playbook step 2. You can already see here, watch answers in Airtable. That means this scenario is triggered when this form is filled out. And then, well, you can already see the names here of the functions. Yes, get a deal. That means this specific deal is then called up. Then the owner is retrieved again. You then have to look up this ID. Then a note is created. Yes. Basically, that's the information with the challenge and the budget, which is then entered there. Then we look up the company data. Then we get the company ID. Then we update the company fields that are relevant now. For example, the revenue that we asked about during the discovery call, or things like the number of employees if we don't already have that information. Well, and then once this data has been updated, a follow-up task is created, which is then assigned again to the responsible person, and that's set for 1 day later so that they can call back. Yes, then for example, we could also inform the team here or notify them about a specific event. So for example, in this case, if we have a customer where we expect more than 10,000, then we inform our team's channel because that's a positive message. And then we also proceed to create an entry within HubSpot where this particular activity is meticulously recorded. For example, this indicates that this customer now definitively requires onboarding. So you can clearly see, by thoughtfully creating these 5 distinct scenarios, we've genuinely added significant real value to the completely free version of HubSpot. For us, the decision is clear. We won't move away from HubSpot, but instead we'll equip our system with these kinds of ideas and features. And you can do the same now. Just download this package. You'll also automatically receive an email with all the instructions on how to set it up and much more. And I hope this helps you add real value to your HubSpot in the future, even with the affordable version. Have fun with it and see you next time. Bye.